crochet friends, and welcome to another crochet vlog. My name is Tasha. If you're new here, welcome. A returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in and watching another one of my vlogs. I really appreciate you. I run a small business called Crochet by Tasha, and in this week's video, we're going to be trying out 2 new pattern tests, and I'm going to be starting off the video with a Crocheter collection pattern, which is actually a bundle of 3 patterns, which I think you're really going to love. Go ahead and go grab something fun to work on, a delicious drink, and let's go ahead and get crocheting. The first pattern that I'm going to try out is part of a mer-pets collection, part of a pattern bundle. There's Otis the otter, Magnus the manatee, Wally walrus, and they're all super adorable. So I'm going to start off with the manatee. I think I made one of the walruses way back when I first bought the pattern bundle, but I never made any of the other ones. So far I've been working on the manatee, and this is the head so far. They all kind of look like little mini snugglers, but I just added his eyes, and then his nose, he's gonna get like, it's gonna be face shaping, so it's gonna look like the face of a manatee. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish working on his head, and I believe this is Posh yarn. This is a ball of yarn that I have from like way back. I'm just kind of working through some of the yarn that I rolled up into balls, but never really finished. So we're going to go ahead and finish working on this. And then after I make this one, I'm going to make the one that has the mermaid tail because it's super cute. Is the lighting weird? I'm not sure. I had to pull the shade down a little bit because it was like right in my face. Don't mind the oven timer. It's going off. Here's my little manatee head. I just want to show you guys. I did face shaping. So you pull one piece here to face shape the muzzle of the manatee, and then I also face shaped here to bring the face in a little bit. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the body, but I really like the way he's turning out. I want to show you guys Lady. She's hanging out here with me today. I'm gonna be keeping her all week while my daughter is working, and sometimes she comes here with me, or I take her to the island, and she just kind of hangs out with me while I'm crocheting, and she's super easy. She's a medium-sized poodle. And she's just such a sweet dog. I get to have a dog without the responsibilities of having a dog. Say hello. She loves me. I'm sure you can tell. Okay, hop down. But I'm working on the forelimbs of this manatee. This looks like it's going to be a pretty easy pattern. You just make the forelimbs, and I think they crochet in the round, and it seems like super easy and super quick, not a lot of sewing or anything like that. So I'm just gonna keep working on this. Came uptown because we had a repair guy coming to work on the blinds, and I went to my mom's. She lives in Old Orchard Beach, and I went over and helped her with a few things, and we went grocery shopping together. I wasn't gonna crochet. I put out a video yesterday. My throat is still hurting. So I was planning on just chilling out and not really doing anything, but then I thought, okay, now I want to do a themed video, and there's still a lot of patterns that I purchased that I never made, and one of the ones I really wanted to make was the mer-pets pattern bundle, because there's so many cute patterns or different patterns in that bundle that I do not run out of yarn, because I only have one ball of this color. So I'm really hoping that that works out. I really wanted to watch Crochet Crafts by Jana's Palm Street Live. I just want to watch one of the people that I know through YouTube actually do an auction through Palm Street, because I really want to try it. I now have so many plushies that I need to sell, and I have a market in September, but I just have so many that I just really want to sell them. And so I'm really anxious to try out Palm Street. So if you guys have any experience with Palm Street, I'm just nervous. I'm like, what if I get on there and like nobody comes and I'm just awkwardly sitting there for an hour? So this is one of the forelimbs. I also watch Allez Crochet, and she just seems to rock it. She just seems to naturally get on there, and I haven't watched her auction, but I have bookmarked her next one. She is just like having wild success with it, but she also is very like funny and natural on camera and entertaining, and I just don't see myself as like super entertaining, or like, I'm not gonna do dance parties. That's just not my thing. But I would like to do that, but I probably won't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just want to like put my own twist on it, but I definitely need to do something. I have bags and bags of plushies at this point, and I need to sell them. Last year at this time, I was trying to market prep for a fall and Christmas market, and I could not make stuff fast enough. And I feel like this year, because I'm not in Florida and I haven't had all those super busy markets, that I now have this surplus of plushies. My other option is to put them on Etsy, but anytime I put plushies on Etsy, they're not really selling, but I could try it again. I could grab like 10 of them and then just kind of see how they do. So we'll see. But I'm going to continue working on these forelimbs. And then I think the next step is to start with a tail. And then I just work my way up the body. But this is turning out super cute. I think this yarn is like perfect for a manatee. And I wish I had more of it, but I only have this one little ball. I'm stupidly not using a stitch marker. I'm just crocheting randomly. So I probably need to get out my stitch marker if I want this to turn out better. So the other thing I was thinking about this week is that I have that pattern that I mentioned in my last video. If you watched my last video, it was a chicken with wings. And a lot of people are asking for the link to the pattern, but it's Alexandra Designs. She's no longer selling on Etsy, or she has discontinued that pattern. So I had the idea to make a similar pattern, not copying, but similar pattern, but like put my own twist on it. So what I would do is like, I wouldn't look at the pattern because I haven't memorized it, but I would create a chicken that has wings and a tail, and then just like create my own pattern that way. So that is one of the ideas that I have. I will not bore you anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these forelimbs. I'm gonna get started on the tail, and the next time I check in with you guys, I will show you my, while I still have some light, I wanna show you guys my first little item from this pattern pack, and it's the manatee. You guys, what an easy pattern. There's no sewing. Well, yes, there's sewing. You have to sew the head on. However, everything else is the little fins are crocheted in the round, and you start down here from the tail, you decrease, you increase, and then you stop right here, sew the head on. Super easy, very adorable pattern. I think it maybe took me 30 minutes to make this in total, maybe 45 minutes if you include, you know, everything, but I think it's adorable. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the mermaid version of the manatee, and we'll just have to see what the lighting looks like because it's starting to get dark. I just priced all of these baby whales that I'm taking to the store today. It has been a mess. It takes me forever, but I just don't want to spend a lot of money on these tags. I printed this just on my printer, and then I tape the barcode on the back. And I know I could do it a lot easier by having them printed, but like that would pretty much be all my profits, so I'm not doing that. But I have 14 little whales in here. This is one that I recently made out of toasted marshmallow yarn, which is Chenille Basics. And I'm going to take these to the store today. I have some supplies in here to label the rest of my chickens. I'm going to my mom's house today. My husband's going to help her out with some things. I just used this yarn to attach the little tags. And I made these little fluffy flex frogs yesterday. This is Fred the frog. He has like a little pointed head for some reason. Let me just press that down a little bit. But I made 2 fluffy flex Fred the frogs to add to the store because those are doing really well. Hi, lady. Hello. She wants to be in my lap all the time. And then these are the, oh my goodness, lady. Oh my goodness. I know you didn't mean it. Safety eyes everywhere. And then I'm also going to be pricing these chickens. I have 2 cream chickens. This is Mabel the chicken. I have this snow cone chicken, and then I have this tweed chicken. I'm not going to price my other chickens yet because they are going to be a different price. It's the next day. It is Tuesday, August 19th, and I'm been gone almost the whole entire day. I was at my mom's house again helping with some stuff with some installing lights and just kind of helping her around the house. So I just got back, and I also went to the store to drop off. I dropped off 13 or 14 baby whales, all the little tiny chickens, and a couple of frogs. I have a little clip that I'll show you here. And then I want to show you guys how my little creatures turned out last night. So I already showed you this manatee, which out of all of the creatures I made, this one I like the best. And I think the reason why I like him so much is because this is made with Big Twist plush. And I think it just is the perfect yarn for this pattern. I think that I used Bernat for the other one that I made. Here's the other one. And you can see the size difference. Also, for some reason, the head looks a lot shorter. So I don't know if I did something wrong there or if it's just the yarn, but this is made with Chenille Basics, Premier Chenille Basics, the pink part, and then this is Bernat. But you can see that this is the Fen option, and then this is the mer-pet option, and they're both so cute, but you can kind of see the size difference and what you get. I used a 7mm hook for both of these, and I used 14mm safety eyes. Okay, then I went on to the otter, and this is the otter that I made, and I did a little mess up. I started with this yarn, which I really like. This is a Bernat color. I can't remember the name of it, but then I realized after making the head and the flippers and the feet and everything that I was going to run out. So you can see right here when I started to make the tail, transitioning into this, I had to move into a different yarn. My mom saw it and she said she thinks it looks cute like it is. It would not be my first choice to sell a product that has two different kinds of yarn like that. I wanted it to all be this color, but whatever. I wasn't gonna stop and, you know, trash what I had done. But you can see how cute his little ears are. These are crocheted in the round. And so you just, little tiny ears. And then there is some face shaping going on. You start at the tail and work your way up, increase to the body. The arms and the legs are all crocheted in the round. The only thing you have to sew on is the head. So the next thing I'm gonna make is I'm going to make the otter with a mermaid fin. And then I will move on to the walrus, I think. So that's turning out really cute. And then good news, I got accepted to Allez Crochet's pattern test. Her luau bear, which I'm super excited about. I'm just waiting for the email. And then I think that's what I'm going to work on tonight. So I may take a little break from my mer-pets to work on that bear. I find that if I get started right away on a pattern test, that I do much better. If I wait a few days or even a day, I feel like everyone kind of jumps in and I feel kind of lost in the jumble of comments. So I'm going to try to, you know, get right out there and get started on it. But I just wanted to share these with you guys. We are headed back to the island on the 545 boat. We got some groceries, so we'll be all set for a couple of days there. And then I can get some projects done. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Still here on the mainland. We remembered that we had to do some work today. At the mainland house, we had like the propane guy coming, and we had a generator person coming, and they were all gonna come early this morning. So we thought rather than rush to get on the boat and then rush to get back, let's just stay here. And I really liked that because I'm so tired of going back and forth. But anyway, I want to show you what I was working on last night. I started the Allez Crochet pattern test. It's the Aloha bear, and it is like so adorable. So I'm going to show her to you so far. She said we could do like sneak peeks on our channel or Instagram or whatever. Try to ignore this muzzle because I totally messed up. So this is the bear. Let me go find some scissors and take this off. Okay, surgery complete. I took off the muzzle and tried not to mess up the face too much. I'm always afraid when I take something off like that I'm gonna accidentally trim the actual face. Okay, so now we are starting from scratch. I was looking at my different yarn colors and I just can't find one that would be good for this. I wish I had a color like this brown, but this is Naughty Ball yarn and it would be too thin. I do have this, which would probably be okay. I want to say this is pot, like plush. I think this is Big Twist plush, but I'm not positive. But I'm going to try this out. I did notice that this, I think this is the color I had on there. I think that it was too thin. It was just too small. So we're going to try to make this muzzle again. But this is just such an adorable pattern. I'm really, really enjoying making it. And I'm definitely going to make more of them. There's like, you can do different combinations for the bikini and the grass skirt. And I just think it's going to be so cute. So I'm excited. So I'm going to do the ears. Well, first I'm going to do the muzzle. Then I'm going to do the ears. I was really impressed though that I didn't have to sew this head on. So this just increases to the head. And I think that's one reason why it looks so secure is because you don't have to sew the head on. And so you don't get that weird like head on body look. It's just this like nice clean transition. So let's go ahead and work on this guy and I will check back in with you guys in just a little bit. We're gonna see how long these guys take to work outside because we have to run some more errands. I have to go to the post office and we have to run some other errands. So I'm gonna work on this as long as I can, as long as my husband is outside working with these guys. The muzzle and look how much better it looks. I think the reason why this muzzle looks better is because the color, number one, is better, the placement is better, and also the size is better. The way the other yarn was turning out, it just wasn't matching up to this size yarn. And it's also, I put it a little closer to her eyes. And when I put the nose in, I think it's gonna really pull it all together, and I just dropped it. Going to attach the nose with a safety back, and it just wasn't going in for me. So instead, I'm just gonna hot glue it in. But that kind of gives you an idea of what it's gonna look like. And then I'll add the little piece that makes it into a muzzle. But I think she's turning out really cute. Next, I'm going to add her ears. And then she's really gonna start looking like a bear. I'm assuming there's gonna be a tail. I'm so excited to do the luau skirt and the bikini. That's gonna be my favorite part. While I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up, I'm gonna add a little trim piece around this mermaid tail. I could use this, but I think I'm gonna do like a little variegated ruffle, and I think that's gonna be really cute. So 5 minutes, I'll be back. Check out this little ruffle on her mermaid fin. I think it adds so much like style and adorableness and cuteness and makes it look more complete. I was even thinking of putting like a little bow in her at the top of her head, but for now we're gonna keep her like this. But I think she is so cute, and I'm excited to get started on the rest of this pattern set as soon as I'm done with this pattern test. I just finished the ears. They are crocheted. They're surface crocheted. I hope I placed them correctly. I think they look pretty good. So this one, I started here and I surface crocheted this direction, and this one I surface crocheted this direction. I don't know if I did that right, but I feel like I did. I really like the way that they turned out. I think the placement looks nice. And now my favorite part that I've been waiting for. I'm gonna make the grass skirt. Hey there, it's Thursday. I can't believe it's already Thursday. Like, I feel like the week just started and it's Thursday. But anyway, let's talk about my pattern test with Allez Crochet. So cute, so adorable. Can't wait to show it to you and talk about the pattern. So this is the Hula bear. There is a part of the Hula bear that I have not finished. Is it the Aloha bear? It might be the Aloha bear, but I think it's the Hula bear. So first you make her body, which you guys already saw. I made her body yesterday, which honestly you can break this down into days because the bear is like one day, and then you could spend the next day working on the skirt, and maybe the little, she calls these coconuts, but I would call it like a bikini. But the bear was pretty easy to make. And, you know, I used this chenille brights in the color chocolate with a 7mm hook. And I do need to add the little string detail here and the little mouth. I haven't done that yet. But I gave her some eyelash line, and these are just 25mm, like the glitter discs. If I was trying to tie into the blue of her bikini. But the skirt is, I've never made a hula skirt before, like crocheted, but it was pretty easy to do. You have to chain a lot, and then you have to make 40 of these little like grass skirt pieces. It does take a while, but I did it while we were driving in the car, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Each of these little strands is 19 chains. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. One suggestion that I would make is that when I put the skirt on, you have to measure it all the way around to see if it fits her when you do the initial 40 chains. But then as I was making the little strands, it was like getting longer. It was like stretching out. And so when I went to sew it on, it was too long and I had to overlap it a little bit. You can see I overlapped it right here. So if I were to do this again, I probably would make it slightly shorter than it needs to be so that when it does start to kind of stretch out and weigh down with the strands, it isn't too long and you can just sew it on. I did sew the skirt on a little too high, so I'm probably gonna, you can see it should be a little bit lower. So I'm probably gonna take it off. I'm probably gonna take it off and re-sew it on so that it's the right way. When I went to make the little coconut cups, I was using the same type of yarn. It was a Bernat yarn, and the coconut cups were like wider than her chest, so it didn't make sense, like it wasn't working. So I went to Naughty Pony yarn and I used a 4.5mm hook, and I feel like the coconuts worked out a lot better. And then it has this cute little strand in the back that you make. You do loop it around her neck before you connect them. But overall, I thought it was a really, really cute pattern. What a unique pattern. Morgan, if you are watching, thank you so much for including me in your pattern test. I know that this is going to be a hit, as all your patterns are. And I would definitely make more of this. I think I would like to try it in like a velvet yarn or just pure Naughty Pony yarn, just to kind of get a smaller size. But I really like the way she turned out. I love the colors that I chose, and she has this sweet little flower in her hair. So I would say overall, this is a really great pattern. It is definitely low sew, and I think that you guys, when it does release, are going to love it. I'm pretty sure that the Luau Bear releases on August 26th, so watch out for that, because I know you're gonna want to make your own little Luau Bear. I was thinking about how to make this in like a boy version, and I was thinking of doing like a little, like a seed necklace, and then maybe like a luau skirt, but no like bikini top, but just like a little seeded necklace or some kind of necklace to be like the boy version of the Luau Bear. But yeah, she's really cute. I really enjoyed making her. So now we're going to talk about the next pattern test that I just got accepted to, and that is an adorable little squirrel. I'm too excited, and I'm going to do it today because I'm too excited. But it looks pretty small, pretty easy, and like I could probably whip it out today. And so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to use Naughty Pony yarn and a 5mm hook. And I want to like concentrate on the pattern, so I'm probably not going to check in too much, but I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm all done. For the rest of the day, I have tons of whips to work on. I recently found all of my moose parts. If you watched a previous video a couple weeks past, I was making like moose hooves and moose heads. I never made them into moose, and I kept remembering that I had made those moose parts, so I need to go ahead and finish making those moose. Also, last night I started to make rubber ducks for market prepping for September. I made 6 little ducks. They look like this. This is my favorite duck pattern. I've tried a couple other duck patterns, and they always like fall over. This one always perfectly sits. I just have to make the little beak and put the eyes in. I usually do like 2 of each color that I'm gonna do, and then I'll embroider the eyes on one, and then I will put eyes, like safety eyes, in the other one. So I also want to finish this today. I have some other whips that I never finished, So I just have to see how much time I have. Also, it's like an incredibly beautiful day out, so I probably am gonna wanna spend some time outside. So I'm gonna get started on the squirrel, and then I will check in with you guys in a bit. I'm up here in what we call the maid's room because, I don't know, maybe 100 years ago, this was the maid's room. There used to be a set of stairs, either here or here, that led down into the kitchen. So what I've done is we have been working the last couple of weeks on cleaning out this room. There's still a bunch of junk in here, but it's so much better. You can actually walk in here. And so I brought my yarn in here, and it's so much better. I was able to really spread it out, organize it, and now I can see what yarn I actually have because I'm getting ready to start a pattern test, and I wasn't even sure if I had the right yarn, so now I know. A couple hours have passed, but I'm ready to show you guys my adorable chubby squirrel by Hula Toys. I hope I'm saying that correctly. She accepted me to this pattern test, and I went ahead and made her squirrel. It's so cute. It's just a chubby little squirrel. I learned a lot when I was making this. This tail design is very clever. You're gonna have to buy the pattern to see what I mean. But it's different than anything I've ever done before. And then it's also no-sew. The ears are crocheted in the round. I mean, they are surface crocheted. And the arms and the legs are just these little bobble stitches. You start with the tail, making that separately. And then you put that aside, and then you make the body, and then you crochet the tail in the round. And I just think it's a really adorable pattern. I want to make it with Bernat. I think it would be a little bit bigger. I also want to try making it in pink, like maybe like a shade of like magenta pink with white. I think that would be really cute. And it just has this little embroidered nose, little bobble stitch muzzle, and 12mm eyes. You probably saw in the last clip that I was organizing my safety eyes. I just got some new ones in because I was out, and I keep putting them in this organizer that I bought, which I will try to link below, but I keep forgetting to label the drawers, and so I keep like pulling out eyes and putting them in the wrong drawers. So now that I've got that labeled, it's so unlike me to have something organized and labeled, but I did it, and now I think it's going to be a lot easier. So this pattern will release on August 29th. And so I'll make sure I make my reel by then and post my pictures, but I think he's so cute, and the ears are really, really good. Like, they're really nice and pointed and nicely placed, and this is gonna be a great market make. Now that we've finished our little chubby squirrel and our luau bear, I can start working on some whips. So I started making these little rubber ducks last night. I made 6 of them. Hold on. I made 2 in cream. I still have to close that one up. I made 2 in this magenta pink. This is a very popular color. And then I made 2 in teal blue. So now what I need to do is finish closing them up because they weren't closed up, and then I'm going to surface crochet the beak. In the pattern, you make the beak separately and then you crochet it in. I just find it easier as far as placement goes to surface crochet it after. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna add the eyes, and then we will see what's gonna happen next. My ducks so far. When I'm done with some of them, I like to line them up on this shelf, and it just kind of looks so cute sitting up there. And now I have to think about what my next color is going to be. I'm going to say yellow, or maybe orange is going to be my next duck color. Okay, my eyes are in my ducks, and so now I'm getting ready to move on to another project for the store and possibly markets. I want to make some zombie bees, so I'm going to be using Naughty Pony yarn in this really pretty bright green color and black. And I already have a bee pattern, so I don't need to purchase that. I'm just going to do green and black stripes and maybe do some details with some red yarn, and then maybe an X for one of the eyes and maybe like a black eye for the other one. I haven't figured it out. But there are a lot of zombie bee patterns out there. I didn't see any that were free, but I do have like a million bee patterns. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use one of those and get started on this bee, and hopefully it doesn't take me too long. This is gonna be a final check-in for today. I'm gonna show you guys the bees that I just made. So the pattern that I used was basically out of my head. I did an 8 magic ring circle, followed by an increase, a single crochet increase, and then that brought me to 24. Then I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I did 8 rows of 24, and then I just did 2 single crochet decrease, and then single crochet decrease, and then I closed it off. So super easy pattern, not hard. If you've ever made a bee, you probably have your own bee pattern, but this is the zombie bee. So I made 2 black strands, and then 2 green strands, and then 2 black strands, and just added a couple little red marks and then an X for one of the eyes. And then that got me thinking. So then I decided to make a candy corn bee, which I have made before. And this is the candy corn bee. I think I probably didn't do enough rows on this candy corn bee. Let's turn it this way. So I probably need to add a couple extra, maybe yellow or maybe white to make it a little bit longer. But this is gonna be the design for the candy corn bee. And then I thought maybe I could do a mummy bee. So this is what it looks like. It's basically a white bee with gray like strands. I just chained like 100 and then just wrapped it around and sewed it down and then did black wings. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it looks like a mummy? I'm not sure. I think maybe I need to bring this gray strand over a little bit. But it was just my first take on a mummy bee. So yeah, those are my 3 bees. I'm thinking about putting these in the store, and I think they would do really well for Halloween. So oops, I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and close out this vlog here because today's Friday and I'm gonna be busy this weekend. But it was so nice hanging out with you. If you guys like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. I have a lot of upcoming videos on stocking the store, stocking up for my upcoming markets, and pattern testing. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.